Hi guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? I went home to Switzerland to visit my family and friends. I had a lovely time. I did lots of hiking and I ate a lot of cheese, which inspired me for today's Learn French while cooking video. We're making la fondue, which is our national dish, along with la raclette, which is also a cheese dish, and les rösti, which is a potato dish. Making a cheese fondue is not that difficult. What's difficult is finding the perfect cheese. And in perfect cheese, I mean the perfect Gruyere cheese. In Switzerland, we often mix two kinds of cheeses in our fondue, Gruyere and Vacherin, for example, which is another Alpine cheese. We call that half and half, moitié, moitié. I haven't found the other moitié here in the US, so let's stick to Gruyere today. By the way, I did mention the village of Gruyere in a previous episode. It's one of the most charming villages in Switzerland. Très charmant. You want to grate your Gruyere cheese. Râpez le fromage. You want to grate about 500 grams, 1 pound. I recommend you mix your freshly grated cheese with some cornstarch, fécule de maïs. It will keep the cheese from separating, from breaking. You'll need some white wine. A dry wine like Sauvignon Blanc will work. Dry and high in acidity, it will help smooth the cheese. We'll use 1 cup of wine to start melting the cheese, and then we can add a little bit more as we go. And we can drink a little bit too. We'll also add some kirsch. Kirsch. Kirsch is our brandy, if you will. We make kirsch from cherries, la cerise, which is what kirsch means in German, but this is Learn French while cooking, so let's not get confused.
What?
I'm using pear brandy today. Let's talk about the bread, le pain. We want to use baguette because it's thin, and when you cut little bite-sized pieces, you'll have crust on most of the pieces. You can also use potatoes, little fingerling potatoes. These are great. La pomme de terre. But that's it, bread and potatoes. Don't even think about dipping broccoli or carrots in my cheese fondue. To accompany the fondue on the table, we typically serve these little cornichons, little gherkins, and these white pickled onions. Les petits oignons. We also typically serve dry meat, la viande séchée. And now the most important. What's a good fondue without a good cheese fondue pot? A heavy cast iron pot. Le caquelon. You'll need a réchaud to keep it warm on the table. Typically it comes with like a little food burner, and then you can sort of regulate the flame. So without further ado, let's prepare our cheese fondue. All right, the first thing you want to do is coat the inside of your fondue pot with some fresh garlic. Once you're done, don't throw the garlic away. Keep it in there. Actually add more garlic to it. Okay, so we've been heating up our white wine and garlic on medium heat, à feu moyen. And now we can start adding the cheese. 1 handful at a time, slowly, bit by bit. And it's important that we keep stirring constantly as the cheese dissolves. Remuer. And then we keep adding the cheese, and then we keep stirring. And it'll get creamier and creamier and thicker. At some point, you want to add the kirsch. We'll add fresh black pepper and nutmeg. And then you see, maybe you need to add a little more kirsch. You don't want it to get too thick. Take your caquelon off the heat and immediately place it on the réchaud, and it will continue to cook. Don't forget to light the food burner before you do that. All right, let's try our fondue. Yum. I like to put some extra pepper on each piece of bread. That's just me. Actually, it's my dad, and I do the same thing. I run out of batteries. My camera ran out of batteries as I was about to have my first bite. And you need to be stirring constantly. And if you drop your bread, if you're in a restaurant and you drop your bread, if it slips off the fork like it just did, you have to buy a drink to everyone at the table. All right, let's try it. I don't even know am I on? Yes, I think so. Okay, yay! That's how excited I get about fondue. You can also dip your bread into kirsch and then dip it into cheese. I wouldn't do that with every single piece of bread, but just a few is fine. Towards the end, when it starts bubbling, you want to turn down the flame or just turn it off to avoid too much burned cheese, which, by the way, is delicious. We call it la culotte de la religieuse, which means the nun's underwear. Probably because it's difficult to remove. Cleaning tip. Cleaning a pot full of hardened cheese isn't exactly fun.
Ew!
Don't worry. Fill it up with hot water and let it soak overnight. It will loosen up. Okay, drinks. You want to drink white wine with la fondue. Le vin blanc, not red. I mean, we don't do that. We drink wine or black tea, English breakfast or Earl Grey. We don't drink anything cold. Cold drinks will harden the cheese in your stomach, and it's already, hard enough to digest. So there you have it, la fondue. The only thing missing here is snow and a Swiss chalet up in the Alps. I'm looking outside and I see palm trees and ocean and a white sandy beach. Who wants that? If you like this video, and who doesn't like melted cheese, give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel for more deliciousness. Santé! Merci! Bon appétit!